All right, it broke again. What up, Team Flynn? Pat here with the brand new AudioTechnica ATR-2100X. This is AudioTechnica's brand new version of, reliable here, this is the AudioTechnica ATR-2100. I've used this, I've recommended it for years, and thousands of people have gotten it as a result of my recommendation, and it's no longer available. So, we're going to test the brand new version, the X version. Usually when there's an X on something, right, that means it's good. Unless it was your girlfriend. Sorry, I literally had so much coffee right before this. But anyway, we're going to test the quality of the material, the quality of the sound, the accessories that come along with it. We're going to test it. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to be giving away one of these. Actually, if I don't like it, I might give away a different microphone. So we'll see how this goes. I actually have not tested this yet, so I'm really excited to see how it works out. And yeah, the big difference here is really this is just USB-C versus this one, which is USB-A. Both have an XLR connection in the back and a monitor and volume control for your headphones. So it's pretty much the same, except the accessories look a little bit different, and it has USB-C connection. So we'll test it with an iPad Pro and a computer and just see how it sounds. Now, one of my favorite things about this mic was not that it was just durable and small and it could just directly connect to your computer, but I loved it because it sounded really, really good. To the naked ear, somebody who's not a sound professional, somebody who's not in engineering in terms of audio, won't really know the difference between this microphone, on a podcast at least, and this one right here. This is the Hi PR40, about 350 bucks. This is about 100 bucks. And when you check the price of this is about 60 bucks or 60 to 70 bucks, depending on how Amazon feels that day. So already, I like the packaging of this one better. An issue I had with the packaging for the ATR-2100 previously was that it was just atrocious to open and a lot of wasted box, a lot of wasted material. This is a lot more compact, which I think is fantastic. All right, so got the microphone here. We have the cords. I would assume this is one of them is a USB-C to C, one's an XLR, and this one I think is a USB-C to USB-A, and then we have some stands and accessories here too. All right, so I like the box way better than the ATR-2100, so let me just take everything out here and I'll lay them on the table. So we have this stand. The stand looks a little bit different. I don't know how this opens yet. Okay, so it looks like it's a... This is interesting. I've never seen one like this before. It looks pretty cheap in terms of the plastic. I like how it opens. However, I can easily see this being broken, and actually I read some of the reviews already. It's not getting great reviews because of the accessories. But that's not really important because, most of all, if you're going to be podcasting, you'd likely want to hook this up to a boom arm like this with a shock mount and maybe a pop filter or a windscreen or something to block your plosives. But let me compare these two mics together here. Now they're pretty much the same. They're the same length, same diameter, same everything. One is just black, and I actually like the look of the black one much better. And instead of the sort of regular on and off button that you see here, you have one that's a little bit more designed, a little bit more modern. On the bottom side, I'm seeing virtually the same things. Two XLR connections, a headphone jack, volume control, and the only difference here is on the new one, the X, you have the USB-C input. In terms of weight, they are virtually the same. I mean, I can't tell any significant difference at all, and so any minor differences doesn't really matter at this point, but feels good, the button feels good. Yeah, okay. I'm impressed with the design so far, so I like the black. Is it worth $30 more? Not yet. All right, let's connect the stand here. Now, these stands are always very cheap to begin with. I hardly ever use them, and already I'm feeling a little bit of a struggle trying to screw this guy. Okay, please, come on, get in there. All right, maybe if I close this. So then this fits like this. And this is not, I am not impressed with the stand. It opens and folds kind of cool, but it's almost unbalanced a little bit depending on which way you go about it. And if I try to twist it, it's going to, It does. So, yeah, we broke the stand. But like I said, we don't use the stand anyway, and now I just have this really cool thing that maybe can hold my books up. All right, it broke again. So let's not worry about that right now. That's okay. Okay, so we have the XLR cable, which is great. This actually looks like it's really good quality. You can hook it up to something like a Scarlett 2i2 or right here like a Mix Pre 3, anywhere that has an XLR input. So you can actually use that with this microphone, which is the benefit. So if you want to go a little bit more pro, maybe you have a Zoom H6 mini recorder too, you could plug this mic into that and likely it's going to sound very good. We'll do a test in just a moment. We do have the USB C, which is the one that plugs into the back of your microphone here. That was easy. To USB A. So if you have just a PC or a Mac with a USB A connection, then that'll fit there. But I'm excited because now we have a USB C to USB C connection. And this cord, I'm always checking the length of the cord too, because sometimes they're really short. And it looks like we have about 6 feet of cord. So that's fantastic. That's much longer than I expected. So USB-C pops into here. USB on the other end pops into your computer, and then you're good to go. So what we're going to do is connect it to the computer so we can actually start testing it and hearing what it sounds like. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the USB-C into my MacBook Pro here, and then we're going to go to the Apple icon system preferences just to make sure it is being read. So here is sound, and there it is, the ATR-2100 USB microphone. I'm going to click that, and now I'm going to take the microphone, and much like the AudioTechnica regular 2100, it shows blue for power, but that does not mean it's on, by the way. I've had a lot of students make the mistake of not turning it on before recording. So hit on. And now we should see it actually come through into the computer, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to hold this right now because, well, the stand broke. So currently you're still hearing me on the mic that's on top of the camera. I'm going to switch to the ATR-2100X in just a moment. But I want to go to GarageBand first just because it's easily accessible. So what I'm going to do is hit record and just say a few things, and then we'll go from there. Hey, what's up? This is Pat Flynn from smartpassiveincome.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you're amazing. And just like Graham Stephan says, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and all things will be well after that. Great, looks like it's picking it up very well. And unfortunately, in this recording, I heard a lot of plosives. Those are when you say P words or B words. There's a lot of air that can come through. For example, if I were to just hit record here and start blowing, you would hear the sound. And that's where a wind screen or a pop filter, typically you would want to use a pop filter to reduce those plosives. But anyway, so that's pretty simple. I'd love to compare this to the ATR-2100 really quick just to see if there's any difference. So let's plug in the old microphone really quick and then see what happens. So of course I got to use an adapter for that one. I'm going to unplug the ATR-2100X. I got my adapter, I got my USB cord in that adapter, and then the micro USB here that's going to plug in the bottom backside of this guy. So let's plug this in. And now we got the old school guy on. All right, it looks like we are using the ATR USB mic, the older one, so let's do the same thing. Hey, what's up? It's Pat Flynn here, and welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube right now, make sure you smash like. Smash like so you can help with the algorithm, because I don't say that as often as Graham does. So I got to get used to that. But again, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. All right, that was really interesting. I noticed that it recorded a little bit lower in terms of volume. Very interesting. Okay, so what I want to do next is take out my iPad Pro, because one thing that is really nice about a USB-C is that you can plug into devices, like tablets, of course, that have a USB-C connection. So I have an iPad Pro with me. I want to test if I could just literally plug in the microphone via USB-C and have it just switch to the microphone on its own, and I want to see what that sounds like. I also want to test the older version using the dongle as the adapter to see if that does the same thing. So what I want to do is hit record. And right now it's the iPad mic, so I'm going to plug this guy right in. This is the ATR-2100X. and it looks like it's picking it up. Now, it's only showing on the left-hand side here on the screen, which is totally fine. By the way, I'm using an app called Ferrite. I'll link to it in the description below. But this is a great app for recording podcasts on the go, and it looks like it's recording, and hopefully it sounds really great. Now, obviously, I don't have any foam or a windscreen or pop filter on, so you might hear some plosives, but that's okay. I would likely have a foam ball if I was on the go and traveling, but that was really nice how it just plugged in and it worked, and you're hearing the voice as it is coming through the USB-C connection here. So I'm going to unplug this. It'll probably go back to the iPad microphone, which you might be listening to right now, and I'm going to plug in the old guy, old reliable, the ATR-2100 USB-C connection, but into the USB-C A into the microphone. All right, power's on, but it looks like it's not switching automatically from the iPad. There it is, it actually came through. Huh, so that worked as well. Okay. So if you had an adapter, and I know Apple charges quite an arm and a leg for these adapters, so it might as well be the same price. Just kidding. But if this is doing the job, then, well, really, why do we need the ATR-2100X? Well, you don't need the adapter, I guess, but it has all the other same features. Now, I'm curious about the sound quality of this versus the other, and as we did see, we saw a lot more power coming in from the USB-C direct into the computer earlier, but it's interesting that the iPad picks it up, whether it's the adapter version on the older one or the new one with the USB-C. So, yeah, that's really surprising. I thought this wasn't going to work. All right, so final thoughts on the AudioTechnica ATR-2100X. My final thoughts are this. It is quite expensive for the minor differences that it has compared to the older version. I loved the older version, the ATR-2100. It was so durable, and besides being scratched, it was so reliable, and something I recommended to a lot of people, and it sounds fantastic. This one sounds just as good. It comes with a little bit more power behind it, it seems, when recording, which I think is great. However, I think that the differences are very minor. Again, I'm not a pro with any of this stuff. This is just my opinion. If you have your own opinion or know a little bit more about this, feel free to leave a comment below. But yeah, they discontinued the old one. This is the new version. We're upgraded for USB-C, so that's definitely a lot more convenient, a little bit more power behind it. I love the design, and the feel is just much better. I like the black as well. It's going to get dinged up a little bit less. So still, for under $100, $1 under $100, you can get a quality USB microphone that you could plug into your computer and or tablet and record amazing audio on the go or even at your home office for your podcast. Again, I love these kinds of microphones because they only pick up the noise sort of right around the microphone and not the room noise, unlike some of the other microphones that you might be more familiar with, like the Yeti and things like that. But overall, I still think this is a quality mic, but no longer is it 60 to 70 bucks. And that was a big draw for a lot of people for this old microphone. So if you're going to look for a microphone that was the equivalent to this one, the Samson Q2U still remains around the same price. It's the exact same specs as this one. And for whatever reason, this microphone, the AudioTechnica ATR-2100 USB, was not sold overseas, but the Samson Q2U is. So I'll put links below to all these things, but I do want to share that giveaway really quick. And because I have one of these microphones, and I'm not going to be using it because I just have my own setup here at home, I'm going to be giving away one of these. So if you'd like to enter a giveaway, a completely random giveaway, I'm going to have somebody on my team select a random commenter next week, 7 days from the day this video is posted. So leave a comment below, smash that like button for the algorithm. And next week you'll see, and I'll pin it at the top, the winner, and we'll reach out to you so we can get that over to you. I'll ship it to you no matter where in the world you're at. And again, $99. Definitely worth it, but there may be some other options for you. What do you think? In the comment section below, and this can count toward your drawing. Only one entry per person, by the way, so you can't spam, leave 100 comments to get 100 entries. Again, this is sort of an informal giveaway, but I wanted to hook you up with one of these for one lucky viewer here. So leave a comment below and just let me know what you think about this microphone and the price difference. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's not worth it? What microphone do you use, perhaps? There's also a lot of other great microphones that I look forward to reviewing, like the Rode Pod Mic and many others. But this, as a USB-C very conveniently plugging into devices and sounding a little bit more strong when plugged in, especially in the computer. So make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already to join Team Flynn and the other amazing community members here. I appreciate you so much, and thanks for tuning in, and as always, Team Flynn for the win.